President Donald Trump has just ordered the United States to immediately resume testing nuclear weapons. This isn't a drill. This directive completely scraps a moratorium that has been in place since 1992. It's a massive, historic U-turn in U.S. nuclear policy. Trump dropped this bombshell on 29 October via his social media, declaring he has instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. And the process? He says it will begin immediately. So, why now? Trump framed this dramatic decision as a necessary response to the expanding nuclear programs of Russia and China. While Trump claimed the US has more nuclear weapons than any other country, experts note that Russia actually holds the most confirmed warheads. But here's the frightening part. Trump warned that Beijing's nuclear capabilities are expanding so rapidly that China could reach parity with the US and Russia within just 5 years. And the rivals haven't been shy. Russia has been ramping up its nuclear posturing. Just days before Trump's announcement, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed a successful test of the unique, nuclear-propelled Burevestnik cruise missile. Even more chilling, Russia also tested the massive, nuclear-powered Poseidon super torpedo. Military analysts say this underwater drone is capable of devastating coastal areas by triggering huge, radioactive ocean swells. Trump said he hated to do it, but insisted the destructive power of nuclear weapons made this step essential to maintain parity. To understand the gravity of this order, we need to look back 3 decades. The US hasn't held a full, explosive nuclear test since 1992. That moratorium was put in place by President George H.W. Bush. Although the US signed the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty in 1996, the Senate never ratified it. Since 1992, the US has maintained and modernized its nuclear arsenal using high-powered computer simulations and non-explosive, subcritical tests. Globally, only North Korea is known to have conducted full nuclear detonations since 1998. This kind of testing is controversial because it was once a major health and environmental threat. In the early 1960s, global above-ground testing was stopped due to the massive amounts of radioactive material being released into the atmosphere. While testing shifted underground, resuming these tests would be a major shift in global policy. But here's where things get murky. Trump's announcement baffled nuclear weapons experts. They're demanding clarification on what exactly he means by nuclear testing. Some hypothesize that he might only authorize low-yield testing, perhaps similar to what Russia and China may be conducting, rather than full-scale explosions. Others suggest he might be trying to kickstart a new round of arms control negotiations before the last major US-Russia treaty expires in 2026. But the warnings are serious. Arms control expert Darrell Kimball stated flat out that the US has no technical, military, or political reason to resume nuclear explosive testing. He warned that this move could trigger a chain reaction of testing by US adversaries and potentially blow apart international agreements designed to discourage testing. And there's immediate domestic opposition. Historically, US underground tests took place in Nevada. Experts believe resuming tests could trigger strong public opposition in Nevada, where there are existing concerns about environmental impacts like the water table. Nevada Congresswoman Dina Titus has already promised to introduce legislation to stop the order. The timing of this order is incredibly strategic. It came just ahead of Trump's highly anticipated meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. The move is possibly aimed at strengthening the US's negotiating position on trade and security matters. The Pentagon and Department of Energy haven't released any logistics or timelines yet. Defense officials are expected to provide briefings on the testing sites soon. But one thing is clear, Trump's order signals a potential new, volatile era of nuclear posturing globally. Will this trigger a new arms race? Will the US actually detonate a nuclear warhead for the first time in over 3 decades?